Is it possible that the elites who run this world are lying to us?
Probably.
Are they hiding something from us that they don't want us to know?
Maybe. Oh, I'm sorry, I've forgotten your name. What's your name again?
Steve.
That's it. Well, hello, dearest viewer, and welcome back to my little corner of the YouTubies. Thank you very much for joining me. I am Mr. Jones, as you probably guessed from that top corner there, and from my channel. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. 357 subscribers. Absolutely unbelievable. Each and every one of you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And to everybody that likes and shares and what have you and comments, thank you again. Yes, this is part 2 of my coverage of Steve's video, Mr. Weird Beard Steve. Now, I got a bit of stick last week, which was fine and dandy. I don't care. You know, it was just a bit of banter. You know, here and there, this guy thought the earth was flat and he was sticking up for Steve. I shouldn't be calling him a weird beard. But then he mentioned my family. Or rather, he questioned my parenting skills. You know, he asked me what sort of father are you?
What a mistake of the maker.
Indeed, Mr. Bertorelli, indeed. The comment section on my YouTube is pretty much an open mic. You know, I will take criticism, constructive or otherwise, or what have you. I mean, somebody said, you know, the sound settings are a bit naff. Go and change them. So I did. Bought a new microphone and changed them. So, and everybody's happy. You know, we have a bit of friendly banter. You know, people call me about my weight or what have you, my hernia's cut in. You know, the pictures in the background are a bit naff. You know, I don't care. I don't care. You know, a few things that I won't put up with. Hate speech I won't put up with. Homophobia. And I won't put up with racism. Simple as that. If you do that, you're off. This particular guy, I'm not going to mention his name. He was screaming for attention. So he got some attention. And we had a bit of a back and forth. Absolutely fine and dandy. And then he made a big mistake. This is a flirt tactic, a typical flirt tactic. They scream for attention. They get attention. And then you start ignoring them because they say the same crap all over and over again. So, when I ignored him this particular time, he called into question my parenting skills. Big mistake. It's usually, you know, you're a kiddie fiddler, or I had your mum last night and she was shite in bed, or what have you. It's usually that sort of stuff. But this one called into question my parenting skills and said, what sort of a father are you? Now, a bit of background on me. I brought up 2 children on my own since they were babies. And I struggled and struggled and struggled. And I think I've done the best job that I possibly could. They both got great jobs. They're both earning a stack full of money, more than what I'm on. There's a bloody ice cream van outside. And one of them's given me a wonderful, beautiful, bouncing baby grandson. And I couldn't be more proud of my children. I really couldn't. So, to call into question that, got my back up, and now he's blocked on my channel. He can't comment on my channel. And if he gets a sock account and then starts commenting, he gets blocked again and again and again. He will get bored before I do. Anyway, on with the show. So Steve, take it away. The floor is all yours.
And think about this. All the images within the United States are released from NASA.
No, not necessarily. You see, with YouTube getting bigger and bigger and more popular, amateurs are doing their own stuff. You know, they're posting and taking videos of some absolutely spectacular space images. There's one guy, I don't think he's American, he's called Geistview. And he's taken like the pillars of creation, like a big nebula somewhere out in the deepest, darkest regions of space. Absolutely beautiful, stunning images, and he takes photos of the equipment he's used and everything. So, not necessarily. But I have a new picture, a new favourite picture from NASA. The highest resolution picture of Jupiter ever. Have a look at it and see what you think. Absolutely stunning. Go on, Steve, I challenge you. Is that photo fake?
They even admit these are composite images, and they admit they use Photoshop to make these beautiful blue marble images that we see everywhere.
They admit to photoshopping one image. That's the 2012 blue marble. One. And if it's an artist rendition or what have you, then they will put underneath the photograph artist rendition. Where's the lie?
None of these are full photographs from space, but they're artist paintings, artist rendering paintings or crafted photos, and more recently, they've been generated from composite CGI artist renderings.
You just said crafted photos, so you need a photograph of something to craft it. I've got a tree in my front garden there, so it's coming autumn, the leaves are going a bit browner. So I take a photograph of that tree, but I tweak it a little bit, make the leaves a bit greener, make it look a bit more alive. Does that mean that tree's fake?
If you're thinking, so what? It's no big deal, then you need to realize that these images are the foundation of our current globe belief and ultimately the only proof you'll ever find.
No, Steve, come on. You don't need NASA. Look at these photographs here. These are all indications or evidence of Earth curve. Take a look during a lunar eclipse when the moon is eclipsed by the Earth's shadow. Why is the shadow on the moon curved? Study P waves and S waves. They're also a very, very good indicator, a very good evidence of the Earth being spherical. And I didn't go to NASA for any of that. So Steve, come on. Wake up, man.
I can just hear all the naive people right now asking me, Steve, why? Why would NASA lie to us?
Why indeed? Could it be the billions in tax dollars it gets each year? Maybe.
NASA's budget in fiscal year 2020 is $22.629 billion, which represents 0.48% of all the U.S. government spending.
I doff my cap to you, young sir, because you mentioned it's 0.48% of the total national spend. No flirts admit to this. All they say is $55 million a day or billions every year. They never ever mention the 0.48%. So, sir, props.
Yes, I said billion.
Yes, and I said 0.48%.
This is a 5.3% increase from the previous fiscal year.
Those NASA pesky devils.
Is it possible that the elites who run this world are lying to us? Are they hiding something from us that they don't want us to know? If you don't believe that, then you don't understand dominance, power, greed, supremacy, and control, all working in tandem.
Thank you, Steve, for telling me that I'm too stupid to realise that the Earth is flat and they're covering it up because power and greed and control. Doesn't fit, does it? Doesn't make any sense.
Try to break free for a second from your programmed understanding and consider the possibility that every image of the Earth that you thought was real is actually not real at all.
Well, they look pretty real to me. Steve, what evidence do you have that those pictures are not real?
I don't care whether you believe in the Bible or not, but the truth is the Bible description of the Earth never mentions any motion, rotation spinning, floating, or orbiting.
But it doesn't mention gravity. It doesn't mention dinosaurs or DNA, the basic building blocks of life. You'd think that such an important book would, now wouldn't you? But it does mention talking snakes.
In fact, the description of the Earth from the Bible talks about it being set on pillars and foundations. In fact, other than earthquakes, the Earth is stable and does not move.
Doesn't mention it's flat either. Nowhere in the Bible does it say the Earth is flat. Nowhere.
Now, if you want proof from the Bible, let's go over the scriptures.
Oh no, I'll hang my head in shame now if he's going to quote the Bible where it says the earth is flat. But the thing about the Bible is it describes things by what they do, not what they are. For instance, it describes whales as fish. Obviously, we know better now, and they are mammals. They describe, depending on which version you read, they describe bats as birds because they fly, or locusts because they swarm. Using the Bible as scientific evidence, no, don't do it, Steve. Come on. We all know that the Bible is wrong. It's always been wrong, and it will always be wrong.
Let's use the King James Version and the New American Standard. God himself that formed the earth and made it has established it.
Doesn't say it's flat though, does it?
The Lord by wisdom found the earth.
You are eventually going to get to the bit where it says it's flat, aren't you, Steve? Come on.
Laid the foundations of the earth.
I know what you're going to do. You're going to wait until the end to hit us with this bombshell that it says in the Bible the earth is flat.
The world is firmly established. It will not be moved.
Well, get on with it.
He established the earth upon its foundations.
Is that it? Where's the bit where it says the earth is flat?
And there are 14 more scriptures that I won't even take time right now to read,
I wonder why.
just to limit the length of this video. But here's the list.
Now, me being a bit thorough, checked all those proverbs. And do you know what? Absolutely not one of them says the earth is flat. Not a single one.
You just saw over 20 specific references describing the earth as being fixed upon literal foundations that cannot be moved. And still, the idea of this is hard for people to grasp. It's hard for the human mind to even consider something that goes against what they've been programmed to believe.
I don't care. There's overwhelming evidence for the globe. Your personal incredulity and your lack of understanding about photography or what have you, right, is not evidence for a flat earth. Even the Bible doesn't say the earth is flat.
The definition of a foundation is an underlying base or support on which something is built up or overlaid, the lowest load-bearing part of a building. The definition of a pillar is a firm, upright support for a superstructure, a tall, vertical structure of stone, wood, or metal used to support a building.
When the Bible mentions pillars and foundations, it's speaking metaphorically. Those things shouldn't be taken literally because, as we all know, the Bible was not written by God, but it was written by some ignorant, bigoted, superstitious savages. And that's an end to it.
Do you realize that everything we build on Earth has to have a foundation, with the exception of cars, because they have wheels?
But couldn't the chassis of a car be considered a foundation? Couldn't DNA be considered a foundation? You're taking something that's meant to be metaphorical and you're making it literal. So that's either wrong or dishonest or both.
Virtually everything else has to have a foundation. Everything we build requires this substructure to keep it from settling and shifting. If God made a globe-shaped earth that rotates and spins faster than the speed of a bullet, he would have said something in regards to that and not the opposite.
But God didn't write the Bible, did he?
The very term earth in Hebrew is eretz, and it means to be firm.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. And I have a screenshot as evidence to prove otherwise. Here we go. What is the meaning of the word? Land. There we go. Land in inverted commas. Promised land in inverted commas. So, Mr. Weirdbeard, it actually means land.
Hebrews and other ancient cultures believed that the earth was a fixed and immovable plane with foundations supporting it.
So what? Big deal. Meh. Doesn't mean anything, does it? Many cultures believe in a Father Christmas type figure. Doesn't mean that that's true, does it? Some Eastern European cultures believe that if you pointed at a rainbow, your finger would fall off. Doesn't mean that it's true, does it? Just because it says something doesn't mean it's true. I've got a book on Star Wars, and it doesn't mean that Darth Vader is really a Dark Lord of the Sith with a big red lightsaber, does it? I think we'll leave Steve Weirdbeard to it there because A, he's annoying me, and B, I am sweltering in here. Goodness me, is it hot or what? We are boiling in Bolton. Boiling. Anyway, so thank you. Please like, share, subscribe, etc, etc, etc. Don't forget on Sunday, 9 PM, The Sunday Stupid. And don't forget next Wednesday for another edition of Wacky Wednesday. So, for now, as we say in Bolton, toodle pip.